welcome back to Impact Index. I'm Patrice Bisiot, your host, and you're here to learn how to build your brand. So today's episode is the emotion behind your presence. All right, so what do I mean? The mistake is made all the time because you see, when people hire me, they think it's going to be a wardrobe experience because they really think that, everything is about just the physical. All right, visual cues are important, but I explain. Whether you're wearing expensive, you're wearing designer, you have a good haircut, you had someone reading and redoing your bio on LinkedIn, and now you think it's fine. And yet, well, people leave a wrong impression. Why? Why do you think this is? You think, okay, spend the money, pay attention, and what it is that it's off. The energy. Because this is the thing, we are vibrational beings made out of 75% of water. And I repeat that often because that's really important. We're not just there. We don't just matter just to be here. No, we are reactive beings. We read one another. And this is the thing. Before any word you pronounce, people have already formed an opinion about you. And that's the thing, the whole, oh my God, they're judging me. They're not judging you because they judge you. They're reacting to you. And you can wear the most expensive suit, the most expensive dress. It's not going to matter if it doesn't align with you and who you are, and you showing up as like, okay, if I wear all this, I'm good. No, if it doesn't align with who you are within, that is your brand. Because you think often, people think of branding as marketing tricks and then a few visual, whatever, modification and embellishments, and it's going to be good. Your brand is who you are. Before you say a single word, that impression has been made. Remember, you only have a nanosecond to make a life-lasting impact. That is all that counts. That's the only moment people are going to remember, because if you are not aligned between the way you feel and what you're wearing, and together, cohesive, coherent, it's never going to be an impression, and you can come back 10 times. It's over. That impression has been made and it's done. So remember, your brand is who you are in the core of you. So let's get deeper into it. I'm going to give you examples. Examples are worth 1,000 words, because that's going to help you understand, oh, okay, that's how it's working. Now, it's not some woohoo Buddhist stuff that I'm trying to shove down your throat. Absolutely not. It is real. I experience it around the world, and this is why I'm making complicated simple so you understand how to build your brand. Again, your brand is not your logo, your business card, or the banner on LinkedIn. It is about you. It is the way you present yourself, the way you feel, that energy you present immediately. That is the only thing that counts. Because if your emotional state is not aligned, again, with what you're wearing, and that's really important to say, because that is a huge concept into branding, people are going to experience you as fake, not real. Remember the gut feeling, like when you say, don't trust him, not sure about her. Yeah, that's your intuition working. That is your first impression getting this moment, because we all do it to each other. Again, we're not judging. We're just reacting. We are assessing what we feel. So I'm going to give you three examples that I see the most commonly, and they're actually to overcompensate. People do the contrary. Anxiety, one of the biggest, if not the biggest. It's fair to be anxious. You go on a job interview, maybe you're pitching a new client and it's a big one. You're going on a date and now you feel like, oh my God, I really like her, I really like him. Now, how does that work? So, in order to compensate that anxiety, now people overdo. Instead of sharing their authenticity and say, you know what, today? Yeah, I'm a little nervous, No, what they do, by overcompensating, they talk louder, they got maybe aggressive, because the moment you're defensive, because anxious creates that moment of like, oh my God, how do I face that? Instead, people now on the receiving end are like, okay, what was that? Like, especially if you go on something important, again, like a job interview, it's promotion review, and you're reacting as, because you're anxious and nervous. Now it makes you feel like, okay, by not showing it and by going over it, no, all you're going to do is lose the deal, lose the job, lose the promotion. Again, authenticity, absolutely. Another one I see a lot, insecurity. So it's all hidden underneath the skin, and then when it comes to hiding that and say, oh, I'm not going to admit I'm insecure. All right, so what do? Oh, I'm going to overcompensate. I'm going to be charming. Okay. But then I see it a lot in social setting, and I can read it because obviously I'm ahead of the game when it comes to branding, energy, and all. But it's a thing for people that don't have a clue about understanding how to identify it, but they do feel it, and they think, okay, that person is fake, maybe manipulative, maybe they have an agenda. And that is not appealing to anybody. I don't care, personal, professional, because remember, branding is both at the same time. You're not separating two bodies. And that's the thing. Because now that insecurity translates into charming, but there is nothing charming about it because it's only really masking what you feel inside or the person feels, because let's not do you, because you, it's like, otherwise I'm feeling like I'm attacking someone. I'm not, I promise. I come in peace. I'm here to help you guys. So that's one other common trait that I see a lot. And the third one is disinterest. So I see it in, well, social network and professional gathering. It's like you go and you see people going and they absolutely, they don't want to be there. So I can read it because, again, I'm ahead of the game. It's not the point. The point is people don't know that, but they know how to react to someone. And often that disinterest turns into like, oh, I'm going to show I'm professional or I'm a master of me. Okay, but instead of being that, the person across is like, oh my God, he or she is cold. Who does he or she think she is? Like, nothing good. I could tell you that, because now the guard is so strong that instead of, again, to say, I'm here today, but, it's not really my cup of tea, maybe, that's authenticity. Although I feel you were not interested or the person was not interested, let them go. Because forcing yourself to do that, at the end, if you're not aligned, it's not going to work. I don't care what you're wearing, the way you're going to speak, your body language, everything is going to say, ugh, I'd rather be home watching Netflix. Okay. Oh no, maybe that would be me. Okay. But seriously, so that's the thing. So what does it do? Because it's going to create problem on deal. You're not going to get that. You're not going to get that job. That mismatch is going to create friction, and that friction is going to make you lose the business deal you were running after. The second date that you were maybe, really hoping for, or the money you're going to lose and leave on the table because now you're not aligned. The person across is like, I cannot trust that person to save my life. And there you go. So that's how important your energy with what you wear and how congruent this is all together. That is your brand right there. All right, let's get with a public, well-known, famous example, Oprah. This is how well her business is and her brand is on point. Imagine saying a first name. You don't need to say Winfrey as her last name is, as everybody knows as well, but this is the thing. Her business is not just based on the empire with the media that she has created, is the emotional congruence she had brought into the game. And she knows that is her brand. When you watch her, when she interviews someone, first of all, the wardrobe is always very muted, simple, because the highlight is the guest that's coming. But if you watch her body language, the way she speaks, how attuned she is with her guest, that's emotion right there. Now she's bringing the public and the crowd into all the attendees in the studio. Now they want to come in. They're with them. They feel like they're sitting on the sofa with the two of them, Oprah and the guest. And that is how important, that is actually how she built her business, because she has understood that people, whether they want to share an amazing story that is inspirational, maybe a story that's actually a really sad story and they're crying and sobbing, and she's there to console them, and she's part of that process. That is the emotion, and that is Oprah's brand. We don't remember her because she has the most incredible hair or the outfits out there. No. We know that we watch Oprah, and Oprah is this person that makes you feel good. whether she gives gifts to the world, whether she goes somewhere in the world and show that she's done good for it, or she's having a guest and now she's listening very carefully to their stories. That's how it works. That's how deep emotion is. A brand is not necessarily because you're out there provoking, shocking. No, it doesn't have to be that way. You can be just as simple as that and yet so profound. Obviously, the woman built an empire worth billions of dollars based on emotion, and that's right there is her brand. And that brand, not only she takes it with her company, but it builds trust, because now that emotion is so high that people are so following what she's doing because she is so aligned together with what she's doing, saying, feeling, and exuding, that brands around the world trust her. This is why she built an empire. And that empire, again, is built on emotion. Her personality is very calm and very even. You know, she never gets all excited or here or there. And because of that, brands are following her to the moon and back. That is just based on emotional congruence only. There is nothing physical about it. It's all about how everybody reacts to her name, and that is her brand. And now I'm going to give you a real life case study, because I know it's like, okay, she's famous and she knows what she's doing, so obviously years of practice. True too, but let's take one of my clients. In every episode I give you a real life example. My client Lena. So Lena is a senior marketing director in the luxury hospitality. So she checks out all the boxes on the credentials, the results, spreadsheets, all of the above. But you see, she had this insecurity and she knew. Yet she was excelling when she was on her own in her office in front of her screen, but now delivering in public, in a boardroom, even in front of one person, she couldn't get it together. So that shyness became, hold on, you have that title with that role, you're supposed to be the bomb, you're supposed to be the rock star of what you do, but then the delivery was, the insecurity she had showed like she was shy, and if you're shy, it means, are you sure you know what you're doing? They don't even see it as shy. People across see that she doesn't know what she's doing, because now there is no congruence between the title, the appearance, because she always looked the part. Everything was, perfect. The hair was blown out and the suits were perfect. Yeah, but perfect until when? Until the delivery. And that's the emotional connection she was making with people, which she actually didn't make. And because of that, she realized that she got a lot of no's. And those no's were no good, because at the time I met her, and this is where she decided, all right, I need to do something about it. She was actually raising $100 million because there was some hospitality expansion and they were going to do a couple of openings, and she needed to be part of that to raise that money. So obviously explaining, hey, put your money here because believe me, your ROI is going to be amazing. Yeah, but that's the thing. You ask for 100 mil and then you have someone that's shy and wondering and talk very low and slow and looking over and around, not working too well. So what did we do? Very simple. You see, instead, that's also the thing with people, they think already of the goal over there. Oh, so her obsession was, oh my God, I need to score that $100 million. Oh my God. So now, what is it? Hyperventilating, all over the place, not centered at all, not aligned. Now, it was word from breath work, back to center. Understand you need to show up as you. Calm down the chatterbox in your head, because I know it's easy to do and it's easier doing than saying. So practice is part of every morning. Your morning routine makes that happen. It gives you that alignment, that moment of peace that now it's like, all right, what is it for the day? All right, breath work, yes, it is a thing. It's not just, again, some Buddhist level, whatever. No, it is a thing. It calms down. Close your eyes. I tell my clients, you have something important, you're about to go a meeting, or maybe you're overwhelmed. You're not going to get any good at it. Go somewhere, and I don't care if it's a bathroom, like a single bathroom. close it down, shut the light off, and close your eyes. Just relax for a minute or two. Count in your head, and it will reset everything, because that's going to help you calm the mind. And if you calm the mind, now you're realigned to who you are, and now you're ready to face the meeting, face the date, face the promotion, face the job interview, and all of the above. So basically, by working on priming techniques that are very simple, again, the breath work, the attention to center, the realignment, now I was able to anchor her attention on the right thing, is her brand. The moment she shows up, and this is the premise of this episode, your energy is everything. That is your brand, not everything in between that is visual and you can see. No, people first feel you. Before they see you, they feel you. That energy already crossed the room before you even stepped into the room. I'm serious. It is that authentic. So in order for my client Lena to raise that $100 million, the moment we did it, the meeting started getting better. Meeting got so much better that she actually ended up raising the $100 million her company was asking for. And this is the thing. Now we're going to get into science. Just quick, because I'm not going to bore you with some scientific review and 10 different universities working on it. But it is a thing. I come to you not with just something I thought I put together because I'm so smart. I am so smart. But seriously, I'm here to deliver something that feels like, how do I go about building my brand? I have no idea how that works. Well, you see, the studies have shown, and it's called emotional contagious theory. So what does it mean? It means that your emotional transfer, the moment you walk into the room, that moment is crucial, because by doing so and by being so aligned, you are projecting it onto the person. And human beings mimic each other without knowing, and consciously they mimic one another. Now someone walks in very secure, aligned, feel like, all right, I know my topic, I feel good here, I own my space. They're gonna exude that energy, and that energy is gonna read back, because now people are gonna feel, wow, what trust? Because that trust, without that trust, no one will give you the job. No one will give you their clients. No one will want to buy anything, or else go on a second date. Again, professional, personal, they all go together. They sync at all times. Because you see, that's leaders. And I'm talking to you. You're a leader. You're an entrepreneur, either emerging or you're way up there. You know, at some point you're stuck. And you're stuck because of what? Because of that. Because that moment, emotional moment that you cannot transfer as you want it to be, is going to end up with a no across. And you see, watch, leaders that are calmer, that know what they're talking about, that just come with a clear idea of who they are. That is their brand. Before we know that, they're going to sell or talk about whatever, the moment they walk and carry that energy, that is their brand. And this is how this episode is important for you to remember that. Every morning, you need to remind yourself, all right, how do I go about my day? What is going on? What's the purpose? What is the goal? But now, the most important, how do I feel? And this is your brand. And more so than the Buddhist, whatever you could think that it could be, because maybe you knew at this and you feel like, whatever. If I tell you your emotion is directly synced to your ROI, return on investment, yes, for sure. Because again, that will translate with money and result. And the ROI could be, again, going on a second date, that's your ROI right there. Because you are so showed up, so aligned, so at peace with self, that the person across now feels, no, I can trust him, I could trust her, I'll go on a second date, instead of thinking, oh my God, this was a nightmare. There you go. So now your ROI, again, will translate into the client in front of you will trust you. Well, what they're going to do, they're going to buy from you. They're going to spend money with you. That promotion, that's going to translate to more money on your bank account. That new job, because obviously when we change job, that's, the idea is to get a better job with better pay. Same thing. So your emotion is your ROI, and both together combined, again, that is your brand in real time. So what is the takeaway and how could you make actionable steps? Very easy. Audit your pre-meeting rituals. What do I mean? Before you get to a meeting, maybe these are people that you already know, so now you feel at ease. But it could be people you meet for the first time. There's a lot at stake, and you feel like, okay, so it's the thing. Am I gasping for air, or am I actually, I know my craft well. It's a great day. I feel great. Now I'm ready to go for it. Or that means you're grounded. But if you are anxious, and it's okay, it's human, by the way, I'm telling you, you need to take that minute or 2 or 3 to relax. It's not, again, some spiritual woohoo. It is real. Calm the mind. If you go frantic, anxious into a meeting, into something personal, important to you, nothing will come out of it. So please audit that moment pre-meeting, and that will change everything. And then match your energy to your message. And what do I mean by that? Don't be loud. Maybe loud in the clothing. You think that it'll distract people enough that if they see so much going on that it distract them and feel like, okay, I'm in good hand. No. If you don't have it with you, I've seen it with Hollywood a lot. You could put something ultra expensive on a young upcoming actress and suddenly now she just broke the big role. Okay. And you would think, my God, this is like the day of a queen, of a princess, whatever it is that you want to say. Instead, that insecurity just amplifies and be like, oh my God, I hope I'm not going to ruin it. I'm not going to stain it. Is that too much for me? And you would think that all she's going to do is say, oh my God, this is a dream day today. And instead, because the congruence between the emotion and the physical are not together, that's what happened. So right there, if you don't match your energy with your message, and if you try to be loud in order to compensate for what's missing inside, it's never going to work. So please identify, because those two, they need to go together, because you need to go with intention, not volume. And 3, and I do that with my clients, and it works so beautifully because it's something very simple. It's to create an emotional reset cue. What do I mean? Midway, you can kind of enter the meeting and you're good, you're okay, and maybe the questions that are coming at you are much heavier and much more dodgeball looking than you thought. Now, what I have my clients doing is something they're going to look at, a gesture they're going to have, a moment perhaps they're going to reset where they're going to sit back in the chair, and to them, in their mindset, it becomes, that is the reset. Like if I sit straight and I take a breath, obviously you're not going to be breathing loud in front of the boardroom, but by just doing so, those small little thing, a little mantra in your head. Yes, absolutely. Again, we are talking energy. Energy is linked to spirituality, and it doesn't mean you have to live in a temple for that. No, or go to yoga twice a day. It is a thing every day. It's in practice. So that reset, that cue will just put you back into alignment. And I'm telling you, you will go for success, because that will help you build your brand. And now we're getting to the end. So the conclusion of that is that your emotional presence can be either your biggest asset or your most liability. So please be mindful of it. So to help you, what to do? All right, look below. Right there is a quiz. Easy to take. So please take the Brand Impact Index quiz. It's going to help you know what leader you are. And maybe the leader you think you are, and after taking the test, it's going to be like, oh, wow. The result is going to be so different, because that's how it's going to help you discover what is your energy level, what is your mindset, where you're going with that. And before you speak, that's going to identify the kind of leader you are, because you're here to build your brand, your own image impact index. À bientôt.